Hi everyone, my name is Andy. This is part 4 in a video series on baptism. This will probably be a very short part. Parts 1 through 3 covered what is baptism, are there blessings attached to baptism, does baptism save, and should babies be baptized? This next part is going outside of Scripture, looking at what church fathers in the 2nd and 3rd centuries said about babies being baptized. Okay, from the front here, I know this isn't scripture, this isn't authoritative, but people that are in the 2nd and 3rd century, some of whom had connection to the apostles themselves or knew people that knew the apostles, should probably get this bit right. Let's see what they had to say. What the first pastors taught assumes the practice of infant baptism. Polycarp lived 69 to 155 AD. A disciple of the Apostle John was baptized as an infant. 86 years have I been with the Lord Christ. So he died at 86 years, and this is showing that he's been with the Lord for 86 years. So it means he's recognizing he's been a Christian his entire life, which would show that he recognizes he had faith from infancy. Justin Martyr lived 100 to 166 AD. Many, both men and women who have been Christ's disciples since infancy, remained pure at the age of 60 or 70 years. So they recognized that people could be disciples as infants. It wasn't something that they had to be a certain age to be able to do X, Y, and Z to become a disciple. Baptism is the circumcision of the New Testament. Isn't that awesome? I said that in part 3, quoting Colossians chapter 2 as making that statement. And Justin here is making the same interpretation. You got Irenaeus, 130 to 200 AD. Jesus came to save all through means of himself. All, I say, who through him are born again to God, infants and children, boys and youth, and old men. Is that not cool? So it's to save all, born again, infants. Pretty cool. Cyprian, 215 to 258 AD. Should we wait until the 8th day, as did the Jews in circumcision? No, the child should be baptized as soon as it is born. Wow. Again, another teacher showing that circumcision is a replacement, or baptism is a replacement of Old Testament circumcision. We ought not hinder any person from baptism in the grace of God, especially infants, those newly born. Origen. For this also it was that the church had from the apostles a tradition to give baptism even to infants. For they to whom the divine mysteries were committed knew that there is in all persons a natural pollution of sin, which must be done away by water and the Spirit. Infants are to be baptized for the remission of sins. I mean, check through parts 1 through 3 and the scriptures I was using. These guys are given the same interpretation, application of baptism straight through. Now remember, scripture alone, that should be the source and norm of our doctrine, our teachings, our practice. But can the historical teachings of the past be a guide? And I would say absolutely yes, they can. Now, this idea of not baptizing babies, from everything I know and understand, it arose with the Anabaptists in the 16th century. So for 1500 some years, people were baptizing babies, and that was the standard practice in all of Christendom.